Last, we had a very insightful talk about accessibility. I'll teach you again one more important thing, that is GitHub Actions. Anybody in this room who have already tried GitHub Actions? I see a couple of hands. I remember a day, when I didn't never know about GitHub Actions, and I was shit scared. Once my manager told me, "You need to write a GitHub action about this." I was like, "Me? Oh my God, this is the most scary thing." But once I deep dived into it, I learned that this is very simple. Once you wrote your one action, then it would be pretty straightforward. So, in today's talk, we will see how you can leverage GitHub Actions in your React apps, whether you want to scale it or you want to make it for your play purpose, how you can leverage it and how you can ship a perfect code. Before I'll start with a story. A few times somebody asked me, say, I'm telling you the story of Amira. This girl said, I am a young front-end developer. I'm eager to expand my knowledge to dive into the CI/CD world. If you are one of them, I'll help you out today. If you are Naren asks, while I have a good understanding of theoretical concepts of CI/CD, but I must admit I feel quite intimidated when it comes to writing my own GitHub actions. I am also the one. The third story is of Kalindi. She says, have you ever heard about an actions tab on GitHub? Everybody uses GitHub, right? If they are in college. I'm curious to know if you have any insights or knowledge about such functionalities. If you are Kalindi, I'm here to help. I generally add a lot of memes. So this is one meme. Anybody who can recognize the 3 or 4 symbols mentioned in the slides? Anybody? What is that cute Mario-like guy? Anybody? Or whatever these three are. Sorry, I did not got. Be a little louder. Right. What is the last one? This arrow, blue color. Do you think I only made it? Or it's an actual logo of something? Yeah, workflow. This is the logo of GitHub workflows. We'll see into it. It is saying life is good with all these things, but it can be better with GitHub Actions. One more. Do you want to take a minute and see it? Isn't Jack Sparrow too much running? We'll relate to this meme once. Maybe I go 1 or 2 more slides. Okay. Who knows about CI/CD? A continuous integration. What? Yeah. Can you raise your hands a little higher? See, high raise. If you will raise your hand raise, right, I will know you are not sleeping and I'll try to make you wake up. People, raise your hand if you know about CI/CD. 3, 4, 5. Okay, let me show you one slide and I'll ask this question again. What do you understand? This is a very, diagram of CI/CD. Take a minute to observe what is happening. You see, there are code changes. Then something is written like continuous integration. Then it is divided into 2 things, continuous delivery and continuous deployment. Are you now able to make a little sense? If not, wait. Can you make sense out of it? The person who is first coding, then he ran the test, then it fails. Not everybody's test, passes in one go. I to cry a lot. So he, fails again. He codes again. Then he ran the test. Again, it got failed. And now he got anxious. And he codes again, run the test. See the expression of the last one. Isn't it funny? So yeah, CI/CD is all about this. You add some pieces. There is some magic machine who checks whether the pieces are correct or not. Then they tell you if it is not correct. Let me put CI/CD into very fun analogy. Imagine you have blocks. Everybody would have played with Lego blocks. Anybody who did not had Lego blocks, raise your hand. Not Lego blocks. Which century you are from? Okay, just kidding. So, imagine you have Lego blocks, right? And you want to build a tower with it. So, CI/CD here is like just like a magic machine. So, what happens is that, say, two of your friends also came that I'll help you building a tower. So, CI/CD, that CI is that machine who will identify if is there any failure in the first code itself, so that you can quickly fix it without and to avoid later problems. And CD is something continuous development or continuous delivery. That is something like if you want to, what do we call, same that magic machine that knows exactly where to place things. So like that, it can deploy. Now I hope everybody has some idea about CI/CD. If not, I'll show you one more slide. What do you think about it? No, I'm sure everybody has some idea. Cool. So to achieve this, there are a number of ways. Today we'll touch upon one. One is this GitHub Actions. So if you see on internet, okay, find me a tutorial of GitHub Actions. You will see maybe it is some language specific. Maybe they will show how to simply run Python test or some JavaScript test, or maybe they will take a linter, right? Anybody in the room who don't understand the meaning of linter? Linter is nothing that prettier or ESLint or maybe standard. So maybe they start with that, right? Don't you think it is a little overwhelming? You would be saying they will take some with what do we call action link, they will install that, and maybe they will ask you write some test before you set up a CI/CD. So you will feel already scared. I will not do that. Let me show you a very simple one. As the slide says, right? Let's make a robot dance with CI/CD. So this is one of the basic GitHub action you can write. I'll pause for a minute and everybody can read about it. Read what are these 10 lines written. Then I will explain. The first line says name dance robot. Then we have on what, and something is written like push. Then it is written jobs. Then there is a word called dance robot. Then something is written like runs on, say Ubuntu latest, right? Then it is written like steps. Then name some users, then again name, then run. What is it? So this name, right? So this is something, what is the intention? First, let me show you the output. I created this. I'll give you like 1 minute. So if you see the people who have never seen how GitHub Action looks like, we have a tab, the fourth tab on GitHub, that is Actions. So if I go back, right, in this PR, I have written four tests, four actions. One is dad joke, one is dance robot, then is a linter, then a welcome PR. So I'm talking about this dance robot. Let me click on it. If I'm just I'm opening this. You see there are four steps: set up job, checkout code, run dance robot, post checkout code, and complete job. So a dance robot basically, now if I go back to the code, just making it slideshow. So yes, this dance robot is nothing, just a name I have given, just like you give names to your functions. Then on, what is this on? This is the most important thing. This is a trigger. So you need to decide what are actions. So anytime you push something into in the code, right? And you then you commit it and then you push it to GitHub. Then this is that push. See, when you want this action to run, action is nothing but a list of a checklist. Whether say are your tests, all tests are passing or not. Say you are developing you are doing some development and your test case fail. Your manager will not come and check, right? Is this test is passing or not? Or maybe a QA will not come. Okay, this test is not passing. I will not make. I'll not allow that you can't release your code to the production. Who will add a check? GitHub Actions can help. Since this is a very basic one, and I am not diving into any complexity, so it doesn't. It just do one thing. Whenever you push, you push anything, then you just like we are happy, right? Once our code is successfully pushed, it does nothing but just add a log of dancing robot. I'll show you the demo later. So on is like whether you want to trigger this on a push or on anybody pushed into the GitHub, or maybe you want to run any specific actions when somebody opened up pull request. These are most commonly used ones, but I will give you a link where you can see all the triggers. Okay. Then jobs is nothing, just like a task list. So inside job, I have given the action a job, that is dance robot, and then it mentions runs on. What is this runs on? Runs on is nothing but where you want to run this test. Whether you want to run it on a Ubuntu or whether you want to run it on a Windows OS or Mac OS, you can write everything. Or if you can always now one caution would be there, right? This machine will be in the cloud. Who is paying for it? GitHub gives everybody some limited number of minutes that they can leverage to run these. But if you are a big organization like in Razorpay, right, we don't rely on the GitHub machine. We have our own instance. Like this machine where we run the test is self-hosted so that we don't run out of the minutes. So it depends. If you are trying it out for your personal purpose, then maybe use the limited number of minutes which GitHub provides, right? If you have a large product, then maybe self-hosted solution works. Then next steps. So this you see this checkout code, then actions hyphen checkout v3. This is common. You don't need to cram it, but I can tell you from where you can find it out. Once you will write more than 2 actions, right, you will automatically remember. Like when we make now React apps, right, we would have made n number of React apps. The first step, making it a class component or a functional component, we know it by heart. So this is the first step. Second step is run robot. This is the name I have given. You can give it any name. And then since it was a little node, JavaScript piece of code, so I have written node and the, what do we call, function length. Let me show you this. So yeah, one more thing, when you are making all these GitHub functions, these actions, right, you need to specify one, whatever file, right, which you have seen with on, trigger and all, that should be a YML file, and they have a very specific structure that you make .github folder, And inside this, you should have something called workflows. This is standard. You need to follow it. You can't skip it. This is like, following a specific syntax and automatically the tab will identify. So you noticed I had something. I wrote a function called this, what do you call it? Robot dots. What it does is, if you see, I made some sky characters, a robot out of a sky characters. And then it is written like total frames. Then maybe a delay of 500 milliseconds. Then I return a very small function that after 500 milliseconds, you print the next part. So let's do one thing. I am opening a code. Let me edit something in the README itself. Wait. Oh, let me open it in my console. I use VS Code. Any WebStorm lovers here? A lot of front-end people I know, they use VS Code only. Anybody who loves WebStorm here? Okay. See VS Code. All front-end people love VS Code. 1 minute. Also, I've done one thing in my repo, right? I have done a setup that you can't directly push anything to master, right? I don't wanted to do that. I want all the actions to be run on the sub peers and then only the actions to run. 1 minute. Oh, not this. Let me clone this 1 minute. So since I've added a branch protection rule that you directly can't push anything to master, so that is why I have opened this. And let me quickly open the terminal. Since it is on master, let me make my branch. Git checkout. Yeah. So let me update the README. So maybe hyphen test. So let me add it. I pushed it. Now let's go back. Let's see the actions. You see, I like ignore the super linter one, but see dance robot. Let me quickly open this. Oh, see, 1 minute. Am I not logged in? Let me push something else. 1 minute. This one. I'm just opening this. So now it is saying setting up the job. So it takes to do all the basic setup. It is still setting up. Okay. That it's completed, but nothing but that three sky characters which I was showing, right? It will be just printed in the dance room mode. So yeah, without knowing any language like any Python or JavaScript, if you try this, you would have written your first action. Isn't it simple? You did not had to do anything. Yeah, that's the issue. I was not signed in. Um, okay. I'll not be able to sign in. It's a little difficult. So going to the next one. Just a minute. Please try signing in. Yeah. Yeah. Resume sharing. So yeah, if I open this now, so you'll see whatever a sky character I wrote in the JS file, now it is printed here. Not, did nothing, just I printed something just to show, how easily you can get started. Writing a first action is sometimes difficult. Once you have written more actions, then it makes sense. Now, moving ahead, anybody have any doubts in this action? This is completely simple. What is the reason for me not writing that robot code directly here instead of run? I'll show you in the next example. You can simply write script and you can write your JS code there. But since it was using some sky characters, right, it was causing error in this. So that is why I made a different folder. So in general, you make two folders. One is this workflows and one is the actions folder. Actions is nothing but like small pieces of code which you need in your workflow, and you don't want to make your workflow a lot long. Now see the second example. It says welcome PR. Okay. Now we were discussing about the push. Now if you want to open in pull, maybe once you have made a pull request, then you want to open anything. So now it is saying pull request, then types. Even in the push, right? If you want to specify on what branch you need, if you have pushed into a master branch, then only you want to run your actions, you can do that. Same as this. I have done nothing. Same. Our name I have given, welcome. Then now, if you notice something, I have given it a special permission. What was the intent of this action is, say you are you go into an open source project, right? You open your first PR there, a message that pops it, hey, thank you so much for opening PR in my repo, here is the contributing guidelines or something like that. Maybe you need to add a comment, right? So this, if you see this add PR comment, this is a sort of, just like we have libraries, right, in React to do some things, same in GitHub Actions world, you have certain libraries, or so not libraries as per se, but certain actions which can help you to do something. So this is same add PR comment. This is one of the actions that helps you to write. Um, it is a piece of code that will push anything in a new PR. Why do we need to leverage this? See, it's like this. Why are we using libraries? Either you write something out of the natively, right? If something is already built, why don't you use that? So you can either use this or maybe write a very complex action and create. So now let me go. So we made the test PR, right? Test branch. So let's open this test 3. So I'm simply saying create a pull request. And if I go in the actions, it is running now. Wait. So let's see what happens. This was not accessible by integration. 1 minute. Let me show you the old PRs. I don't know what happened. Say test 2. You see, you get something like this hello world I was printing. So you can get any message using that technique. Anybody have any doubts in this one? Cool then. Let's write something complex. Not complex as well. Who have used that jokes API? This is one of those APIs. Anybody who is making a HTML JavaScript project uses it. Anybody who have used that jokes API? Only one person. Are you not front-end devs? See, that joke APIs, most everybody would have used it. Only one I hand there too. Nobody knows about that joke API. Okay, highly doubtful. But that joke API is one of the open APIs that gives us some message, right? So if you want to integrate something external, I have given an example. See, the first steps are same. Then you have this run dab jokes action, right? So nothing. I have written a script. Just I was mentioning in the first one, right? So nothing. Everybody used Axios here, or don't tell me you have not used Axios. I'm pretty sure people are sleeping, and that's why they are saying they have not used Axios. Okay. So I've installed Axios. Nothing is done. Just it's hitting the dad jokes API URL, and I am telling I need an application JSON, and I'm awaiting it, and I'm just pasting. So let me show you an example. See, some comment like this would be pasted. How do you make Lady Gaga cry? What it is? Poker face. So yeah, it is, if you want to pay something. So I have written all these basic actions just to make you understand what actually actions are. We don't end up in our, or if you go back, right, and you added this dad jokes, what do we call, action in your production, right? It will not help you. I said it will help you to write a perfect code, but it is not helping you. It is just maybe people are frustrated from the work, and after opening a new PR, they are just laughing. These all are something not that meaningful. Just to explain you the concepts. Also, yeah. Now coming to the point. There are a lot of actions, a lot of tools which you can practice. One is this example, which I will tell you, is a superlinter on JavaScript. Anybody heard about prettier hair? Yes, lint. What about standard JS? One. Anybody who have heard about standard JS? So standard JS is, let me take a minute then. This is JavaScript standard style. So it is basically what do we call a superset of ESLint rules. You can if you are not if you are adding ESLint in your system just to make sure people write good code, you can already you can have this standard JS in place. So what it does is nothing. It will it is opinionated. Like somebody says we need two spacing, somebody says we need a semicolon, right? So it depends. If you are not into, like, I don't want to care about whether my project everybody should two spaces or they should not add semicolons, then you can use this. It is actually super helpful. Sometimes see, Prettier is not can't help you in catching JS errors, right? ESLint, if you have rules you have configured, then they will help you. If you want one solution that can help you to find all these JS errors, you can check this standard. This is super cool. I'll give you one example. Means some days back, I posted something. I made a very silly mistake in silly mistake. I'll show you later on. But this super linter, right? So if you want that your code should be even formatted, one such example which you can integrate with your systems is super standard and super linter is one such action that uses standard underneath. So what I have done, the first steps are saying super linter on is push again, then name, then runs on that Ubuntu machine. Then the first step that remains same, that is checking out into the code. And then there is a library, I'll show you, superlinter, that is a version 5 that you run anytime you push anything. So let me show you an example. So see, this I have added a superlinter here. It is breaking. Let's see why. See, it is saying found errors. What is the error? Incorrect users of the term GitHub instead of, GITHU. We will never care about these things, but this can help. And, you can always fix it very easily. Say, running one simple command, that is npx. I don't want to install this standard hyphen fix, and it will help you fix all the some issues. Not this one, but in terms of code, it helps you in fixing things. So yeah, now if I push this change again, my action will pass. Now coming how it helped me in identifying bugs. This is some mocked reference I have taken from recipe code. I forgot to tell who I am. And so I basically work in recipe. I work for the team. You would have almost everybody would you used the checkout widget, which is used to do payment, right? I work for that same team, and this is some piece of the code we recently posted. Okay, and let me. So so we have some experiments. Okay, so I pushed like this. So we had to introduce taxes, okay, and I forgot to add a return statement. I added the curly braces also. Then I don't know why I added curly braces. I added the curly braces and I forgot to write return. Very common mistake. Even in our peer reviews, it was not caught because nobody will check. This is a very basic thing, right? Somebody any good front-end engineer will not make this mistake. And I did this. ESLint was not able to catch it. Prettier will never catch it. But then I, came across. Then it went to production, and then, then we got, somebody from sales team was saying, okay, so this was some experiment we were having to, if you want to show taxes breakup on checkout itself or not. And then I was very confident it is behind an experiment. You push anything from back end, it will not break. And it eventually end up breaking. Then we deep dived and we saw, oh, this is the most silliest mistake anybody can think of. So um, ESLint might not be able to help you with it, but standard JS will. So if I run this command, see, it tells me expected an assignment or a function instead of a raw expression. Yeah, just yeah. So you can add this superlinter. It will help you catch your bugs. I'll share you one link. There is a very interesting talk with superlint, the standard JS versus ESLint, and how they can help you build a perfect code. Then cool. Now coming back, right? You now you had learned about all the GitHub actions. Now how how you can leverage in your day-to-day workflows. One, code formatting and linting. I gave you an example of superlinter. Then what else? This slide is basically what else you can do with actions. Then continuous integrations. Then in the last slide, last talk, we were learning about accessibility, right? Maybe you can explore this Acts or Pally. They can help you identify in your code whatever accessible issues are missing. Then bundle analysis. You can use, like, if your bundle is using Webpack bundle analyzers or parcel size section. And for deployment, you can use GitHub pages or maybe this Amplify, Netlify, or Vercel, anything. For security scanning, SonarQube you can use. For unit testing, just see about it, how you can check if all the tests are passed. You can do unit testing here. Then identifying code smells, right? Code smells can be annoying. So we have used something called review dog. So you can add this, and it will help you giving good suggestions. Basically, it's like one action can do a passive PR review by giving you, okay, this can be written better. You can check that out. These are few things which we also use in Razorpay to make our code good. This is the last slide I have. Now we were talking about GitHub Actions, and I gave you a big list in my previous slide. Okay, this is something you can add. But you see something, CI/CD pipeline is green. Green is like if all checks are passed. Then the next one, it took only 2 hours to run it. You don't have to, it depends. Okay, a few tips which I can give you is like in Razorpay we have one action, we have functional tests, and we are writing those tests using Puppeteer. Okay, so we have included that all these tests should pass before it gives a green mark. And we have also added certain checks. If all the actions are not passing, you don't let this PR to merge into master. You don't so one thing is that you can always these actions, right? One file, it is running in a synchronous manner. If you need, you can always run these, you can break these tests. You will not wait for deployment for 2 hours, right? You can always run these tests in parallel also by breaking them up. Also, whenever you're writing GitHub actions, right, always have some mechanism. If in any urgent scenario, right, you need to skip these actions, what will you do? A lot of organizations recently are using visual testing, but sometimes visual testing can lead to flaky tests, and you will end up running the screenshots again and again, right? You can always have some checks, maybe adding this label, this GitHub action will be skipped. That is something you always need to have if you are adding actions in a live version. So yeah, that's all from my side. Also, if you don't use something specific, right, don't add actions just to make, oh, our app is using 10 GitHub actions and we are so cool. Don't add actions just to become cool, because every action you are running, you need to pay for it. GitHub can only give you limited number of free minutes. After that, you need to pay. Why do you want to even over optimize the actions where it's not needed? So yeah, that's pretty much I had. Thank you.